a second.
I will not talk to him again. What more do you want from me?
This is what happens. You never let. You only want to get you want to get your sentences out there. I'm trying to get mine too, and I'm here as your friend. Okay, I'm the only one who has a legitimate
You're not her friend.
Yeah, I am.
You're
Ken.
not her friend.
Yes, I am.
You know, like with any marriage, there's issues that you have, and they come up, and then something, like I said in my interview, happened where I did lose my trust.
And Mom had to die worrying about you and stressing about you and leave this on my shoulders. After everything that I have done for you, everything I've done for you, I'm always there for you.
Everything you've done for me?
Yeah.
From childhood star to Beverly Hills matriarch, Kyle Richards built her image on legacy, loyalty, and the illusion of a perfect life. For years, she stood at the center of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the last remaining original star, the woman who seemed untouchable.
Oh, it's like it's happening to me. Bitch, I love you so much. Put it on right now.
Everyone's like, why didn't you get a Rolex?
But when whispers of infidelity, accusations of manipulation, and a very public separation cracked her carefully polished diamond, everything changed.
Raising his voice to me. No, listen. You don't get to speak to me that way. Do you understand, Kyle? The rules are different. You don't get to scream out.
The cameras caught it all. Kyle, sitting at the reunion, refusing to answer the questions she once demanded from others. At that moment, the truth was undeniable. The matriarch of Beverly Hills was no longer in control.
You know, I care about my family first. And I mean, I tried. I really did try. And so then when I couldn't.
This is the complete timeline of Kyle Richards' downfall and why it was more than justified.
So then when I couldn't, the kind of things that I had been, I want to say putting up with, but this became more apparent to me, I guess. And I just couldn't, I guess I couldn't do that anymore. And I finally just had a breaking point, but I really thought it would come back, I thought, okay, well, this is just a temporary thing. Yeah.
Kyle Richards wasn't just another woman stepping onto reality television. By the time The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills premiered in 2010, Kyle had already lived a lifetime in the spotlight. From her childhood days acting in Little House on the Prairie and horror classics like Halloween, to her years spent in Hollywood's most famous dynasty, the Hilton family, Kyle's life had always been about legacy. When Bravo cast her as one of the original housewives, Kyle quickly became the center of the show. She wasn't loud like Lisa Rinna or icy like Erika Jayne. She was the middle ground, a matriarch, a peacemaker, and often the one who seemed to hold the group together. Fans were drawn to her relatability. Unlike some of her castmates, Kyle presented herself as the grounded wife and mother. Married to real estate mogul Mauricio Umansky, she showcased the image of a solid, loving marriage and a family life that seemed unshakable. For years, Kyle and Mauricio were called the real deal of Beverly Hills. But it wasn't just her marriage that defined her early seasons. Kyle also carried the weight of family drama on her shoulders. Her relationship with her sisters, Kim Richards and Kathy Hilton, became one of the show's most iconic storylines. That explosive season 1 finale cemented Kyle's role in Housewives history. She wasn't just the polished Beverly Hills wife, she was part of Bravo's most dramatic family feud. And that mix of vulnerability, loyalty, and fire made her a fan favorite. Over the next decade, Kyle became the anchor of our hub. She opened boutiques, hosted glamorous parties, and slowly outlasted every other original cast member. By season 12, she stood alone as the last diamond holder from the original group. To Bravo viewers, she was untouchable, the face of Beverly Hills. But as history shows us, the higher the pedestal, the harder the fall. And while Kyle Richards looked like the eternal matriarch of Beverly Hills, the cracks in her perfect image were already starting to form. For years, Kyle Richards was seen as the heart of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the one who kept the group together, the one who represented loyalty and family. But the cracks in that image came early, and they came from the people closest to her. One of the show's first iconic moments was the season 1 limo fight. It wasn't just sisters arguing, it was Kyle calling Kim an alcoholic on camera, exposing a private family struggle to millions of viewers. That single fight changed everything. Fans saw that Kyle wasn't just the polished matriarch, She was willing to use her sister's lowest moments as a storyline. The feud haunted their relationship for years, with Kim accusing Kyle of betrayal and Kyle insisting she was just being honest. But it wasn't just Kim. Years later, Kyle would clash with her other sister, Kathy Hilton. Their relationship, once celebrated by fans, collapsed in front of the cameras. Accusations of manipulation and backstabbing left fans questioning if Kyle truly valued family, or just the spotlight. By the mid-seasons, fans noticed another pattern. Kyle had a reputation for stirring the pot, aligning with the stronger personalities, like Lisa Vanderpump in the early years and later Lisa Rinna, but rarely taking accountability herself. She played the role of the peacemaker, but often walked away untouched while other castmates took the blame. Viewers on social media began calling it out. Kyle wasn't just the innocent matriarch, she was the one pulling strings behind the scenes, quietly controlling storylines while keeping her own life neatly packaged. The cracks in the facade were clear. Behind the diamond-polished image of loyalty and relatability was a woman who knew exactly how to play the game, and sooner or later, that game was going to turn against her. If Kyle Richards' family drama wasn't enough, there was another shadow that followed her for years: the whispers about her marriage. On The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle and Mauricio were often portrayed as the perfect couple. While other marriages crumbled, theirs seemed unshakable. But behind the smiles and red carpet appearances, rumors of Mauricio's infidelity had been circulating in Beverly Hills for more than a decade. For years, Kyle brushed it off with a smile. In confessionals, she laughed at the gossip and called it nonsense. But fans noticed something changing. By season 12, Kyle seemed more guarded. By season 13, the cracks were undeniable. During group scenes, Sutton Strachey was the first to say out loud what fans had whispered online for years. The air shifted. Kyle, who had always demanded transparency from her castmates, suddenly went silent when her own marriage was put under the microscope. The perfect Beverly Hills couple was no longer above suspicion. Mauricio himself didn't help the rumors. Netflix's Buying Beverly Hills captured awkward family moments where the marriage tension was impossible to ignore. Fans dissected every glance, every hesitation, every clipped word between Kyle and Mauricio, turning social media into a 24/7 guessing game about whether they were truly happy. By 2023, the whispers turned into headlines. News outlets reported the two had separated after 27 years together. The story that Bravo had carefully edited as a fairy tale was unraveling in real time, and Kyle could no longer laugh it off. The woman who had built her brand on loyalty and family was now facing the same fate as the women she once judged. And for Bravo fans, the hypocrisy was impossible to ignore. By 2023, the whispers about Kyle Richards' marriage were no longer just rumors. After 27 years together, Kyle and Mauricio were officially separated. But instead of a clean break, the separation played out in the most Bravo way possible: half denial, half performance, and all caught on camera. At first, Kyle insisted that nothing was wrong. She wore her wedding ring, smiled for the paparazzi, and posted carefully curated family photos. But fans weren't buying it. The cracks were too obvious, the tension too real. Then came Netflix's Buying Beverly Hills. What was supposed to be a glossy real estate reality series turned into the rawest look yet at the Richards-Umansky family. Cameras captured awkward silences, emotional conversations, and even the daughters confronting their parents about the state of their marriage. Mauricio looked defeated. Kyle looked exhausted. The fairy tale was over, and fans were watching it implode in real time. But the most telling part wasn't what Kyle said, it was what she didn't say. On Bravo, when the cast confronted her about the split, Kyle snapped that it was nobody's F business. For years, Kyle demanded transparency from her castmates, holding them accountable for secrets and lies. Now, when it was her turn, she shut down completely. The separation exposed the truth. Kyle Richards was no longer the relatable matriarch holding it all together. She was another Beverly Hills housewife caught in denial, watching her image collapse under the weight of reality. And as the audience quickly realized, the Queen of Beverly Hills had finally lost her crown. Kyle Richards' reunion shutdown didn't just anger the fans, it shook her standing with the cast. For years, Kyle had played the role of the glue that held the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills together. But after her separation went public, even her closest allies began to question her loyalty. Off camera, Sutton Strachey revealed that she and Kyle had a tense private conversation after Sutton brought up Mauricio's infidelity during filming. Sutton admitted she apologized, but fans noticed the shift. Kyle was no longer untouchable. Even the women sitting beside her on the couch felt comfortable calling her out. Her family ties were fractured too. Kathy Hilton, who had once tried to mend their relationship, openly distanced herself after the Aspen meltdown. The Hilton-Richards dynamic, once a nostalgic Bravo highlight, was now viewed as toxic, manipulative, and permanently damaged. And then came the audience. On Reddit, long-running Bravo fans accused Kyle of having a monopoly on the show, always at the center of storylines, always protected by production. Threads with thousands of comments debated whether Kyle had outstayed her welcome. Twitter called her the gatekeeper of Beverly Hills drama, while others accused her of throwing friends under the bus to protect her own image. Even Bravo fan podcasts and YouTube commentary channels shifted tone. The same creators who once praised Kyle for being the show's backbone now tore her apart for hypocrisy, for secrecy, and for letting her marriage become a tabloid storyline while refusing to address it on camera. For the first time in Housewives history, the matriarch wasn't the one controlling the narrative. The cast was questioning her, the fans were calling her out, and Bravo viewers, who had once defended her for over a decade, now seemed united in one conclusion. Kyle Richards had finally fallen out of favor. In the end, Kyle Richards' downfall wasn't one explosive moment. It was years of cracks, building quietly until the entire facade finally collapsed. The child star who once represented family loyalty and the matriarch who outlasted every original Beverly Hills diamond now stood exposed. A woman caught in hypocrisy, hiding secrets, and losing the trust of her cast, her sisters, and her audience. Her marriage to Mauricio, once hailed as Bravo's strongest, unraveled in front of the cameras. Her reunion meltdown revealed a side of Kyle fans had never seen before: defensive, cold, unwilling to share the very truths she once demanded from others. And the backlash was brutal. By 2025, Kyle's carefully crafted image had shifted completely. No longer the relatable matriarch, she had become the symbol of secrecy, entitlement, and denial. The very audience that once adored her had turned, demanding accountability, some even calling for her to be fired. Even her family storyline, once her strongest shield, fractured beyond repair. Kim accused her of betrayal, Kathy called her manipulative, and the once beloved Richards-Hilton dynasty became synonymous with toxic drama. Through it all, Kyle tried to maintain control, posting curated Instagram reels, smiling through interviews, and insisting she was fine. But fans could see what she couldn't admit. The crown had slipped. Kyle Richards' downfall wasn't sudden. It was a mirror-cracking piece by piece, until finally there was nothing left to hide behind. And for Bravo fans, that fall from grace was more than dramatic. It was satisfying. Because in Beverly Hills, diamonds may last forever. But the shine of Kyle Richards had finally worn off.